I just read the article, Creating Classroom Rules for Students with Emotional Behavior Disorders, a Decision-Making Guide. And it was basically an article where they gave you rules when creating classroom rules. And they said that there were 6 things for teachers to think about before creating classroom rules and how to go about doing so. These 6 things consist of identifying who will participate in the rule creation, what behaviors will serve as a basis for the classroom rules, how to phrase the classroom rules, how many rules to have, how to communicate the rules to the students, and what to do to support the rules. And it was all really great information. It basically said that, students with EBD might benefit from the rules already being in place in the classroom rather than them being actively participating in making the rules, maybe because they might not have the skill set to do so, or some of the rules might be too strict. And also talked about how to phrase the rules, and I think that's the most important part, especially since some of our kiddos have problems with expressive or receptive language, and making sure that they fully understand what the rules mean is very important. Another thing that I thought was interesting is communicating the rules to the children. I believe that it's super important that the students know exactly what the rule means, especially since they might have that receptive and expressive trouble with their expressive and receptive communication. So maybe modeling and showing what it looks like that you want them to do is very important. And obviously stating the rules in a positive manner that's very clear for the students. I know the question for this video discussion was how we implement the rules in our classroom. As you can see behind me, these are my classroom rules that I have for my classroom. So it's eyes are watching or looking, ears are listening, mouth is quiet or voice is quiet, calm body, which is hands and feet are to myself, and raise your hand. I work in a self-contained classroom with first and second graders, so I have to be very short and to the point. So the kids know exactly what they need to do. I also put pictures up on it so they understand exactly what it is. Also, since I'm in a self-contained, I do have some kiddos that have severe autism, so exactly where they sit, not only do they have rules in front of them, they also have rules right next to their name tag. So when we are implementing these rules, we're not constantly talking at the students. We might point to the rule not only up here, but we might point to it on their desk and say, hey, just to give that little proximity of what is to be expected. The rules we tend to focus on, myself and my 2 aides, focus on more positive behaviors in my classroom. So if a student is exhibiting talk out behaviors or they're not paying attention, we might say, hey, so-and-so, I love that your eyes are watching, and obviously the other student pretty much falls in line very shortly after. Another thing that I do in my classroom is a reinforcement strategy. So at our school, we have something that's called pause. So the kids earn pause for positive behavior. And in my classroom, I'm not sure if you can see this, but in the back, we have a goal of the week. So the students have a goal, and then if they reach that goal of 10 pause that it is this week, they get a golden ticket, which is basically a ticket to come to the movie theater. So at the end of the week, usually on Fridays, for about 45 minutes, we'll take out that time where we'll play a movie for the kids who have earned it. They'll get popcorn or snacks, and the kids are usually pretty good about receiving that reward. There might be a couple of times where students did not receive that reward, and what happens during that time is we'll use dividers, and there's a different area of the classroom where they are expected to work. And I found that ever since I started that last year, students are very motivated to get that reward, especially the golden ticket, which was like super simple to make. Um, they get really excited when they're handed that golden ticket. Let me try to see if I can find it. So it's very simple. They just receive this golden ticket, and I keep it out in a visual place. And every single morning when we go over our expectations and we have our morning meeting, I remind them how many paws they need and what they receive if they have that many paws. I also have them graph their paws. So as they earn them, they're going to go up, find their name and graph so they can see their progress of where they are, how many they need, and where their friends are in comparison to them. And they know by lunch on Friday they have to have 10 in order to participate in the movie later on. So it's just a good strategy that I found that one incorporates all of these rules. Two, there's a positive reinforcement at the end that's ongoing. And three, they are monitoring their own progress. It's just something that works for the classroom, and my assistants are very good in being very consistent with these rules just because they see me implementing it and talking more about the positive behaviors that we see. So it just creates a positive classroom environment for everybody, and the kids even start holding each other accountable, which is great to see. It's just something that works for us.